There's such a thing called properties in math. Properties actually describe how certain numbers behave. I remember when I was younger, my grandparents would talk about picking mushrooms. They often told us that it was dangerous to pick some types of mushrooms as they were poisonous. So I'm sure that those attributes of certain mushrooms were to be avoided. Many of us have house cats or domesticated dogs that we dearly love. But the behavior of lions or tigers or wolves, it would be nice to know what those behaviors are, because you probably wouldn't want to nuzzle up to a wolf. At any rate, knowing the attributes of certain plants or the attributes of behavior of certain animals can actually help us understand how we can interact with them. And the properties of math also give us some indication of how to use them. There's such a thing called the commutative property of addition and the commutative property of multiplication. This pattern works for both. An example of the commutative property of addition would be, you could start out with 2 plus 4, but you could also say 4 plus 2. So the commutative property tells us that we can flip the terms and still get the same answer. An example for multiplication, we could start out with 7 times 1, but that also is the same as 1 times 7. So commutative properties only work with addition and multiplication, and it basically means you can have the problem given to you in either order. The order doesn't matter. Associative property also works with addition. This time we have 3 terms or more, and these are in the same order, but we have parentheses around the first 2 and then the last 2. So we could have the order of A plus B and associate those with parentheses plus C, and that could be equal to keep them in the same order, but associate the 2 on the end. This works with addition and multiplication. The distributive property is addition and multiplication. And here's an example for you. If you have like 5 times the quantity, let's say 3 plus 8, you can distribute or multiply the first term. 5 times 3 is equal to 15, and then go back and go 5 times 8 plus 40. And that would give you the same as if you went 5 times 8 plus 3, 11, would equal 55. 15 plus 40 equals 55. So this is a distributive property of multiplication over addition. In this way, we would have so the distributive property involves an addition portion and a multiplication. Another thing you can do with the distributive property is take the factors from 15 and 40. We can factor out here we're back with divisibility of numbers. Both of these numbers end in a 0 and a 5. So we can extract a 5 out of each one. So from here, 5 divides into 15 3 times, and 5 divides into 40 8 times, and the factor that you pulled out was 5. Let's see that again. You could say that 5 is the factor you're pulling out of these. 5 will divide into 15 3 times, and there's our addition. 5 also divides into 40 8 times. So we can go back and forth from the parentheses and actually multiply. That's the distributive part. Or we can take the numbers themselves and rename them into its parts. Distributive property of multiplication over addition.